CAPTAIN85. Good afternoon. Again, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I know I'm running behind time, but again, because it's getting the spring and summer, I'm just, checking out sometimes that we can come on at a different time or stay on later because some people go to work, might be watching at lunchtime, and right at 12, they might not be able to tune right in. But nevertheless, we're always trying to create a better atmosphere so you'll be able to enjoy community talk show and the topics that we try to reach and information we try to bring to the public. Uh, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to hit the share link and invite some of your people on your page over so that we can have, a few viewers. And I know a lot of viewers watch after we go off the air. So I, got a few things I just want to touch bases with, and making sure that everything is turned down. And like I said before, we're here to bring information to our community in the 757. Sometimes Facebook don't wish for me to be doing that. I don't know why. Just like everybody else, they always try to engage in keeping us from doing uh, our live broadcast. So I just put that out there, with everything that's involved in doing something. Facebook is making me want to go to come off Facebook. I've been on Facebook ever since Facebook has been on the air. And what they do is they freeze my account, they freeze my page as if I'm doing something wrong. I guess sometimes they don't like what I be talking about. But as I tell people, you know, that's how the enemy works. They are do and say what they want to say to our people, and to not let people engage in good information. But as the former president would say, you know, the news that y'all we get is not the news that they want us to get. It's the news that they want us to just be engaged with what they want to hear people to talk about and to say. But nevertheless, hit that share link, invite some people over to the page, and we'll get started. Some of the things I will be talking about today is our future generation and what we can do to get them more motivated in the upcoming election, because it's important that everybody uh, be involved and be engaged in what we're trying to do. Because it is the year of the we're 4 months already into the 2024, that our young people need to be looking at getting elected, going to the polls, registering to vote, and know the candidates, know who you're voting for, what they stand for, and what you want them to do for you. I guess it's all about love. It's all about getting our young people engaged. And I've been doing talk shows for years. My first talk show I was doing was at WZAM, AM 1110 on the radio dial, 50,000 water. And even back then, they didn't like me discussing things. I wound up, I know how they play their games. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. They all play the game with you. They don't want you continuing to give out information about things that they are doing, and keep you from getting engaged in what needs to be done to inform and keep our community informed of what's going on. But I did run across this video of a study that was done, and I'm going to play it so you can get abreast of, the things that happens when it comes to the Afro-American community in any city. Doesn't matter if you're here or someone else. But I want you to take a listen to this. For
There was in 2012, there was a study that you can look it up online. It's called the Obama effect. Mm-hmm. And in Harlem, they had a group of high school students that before he became president took a test. 80% of them failed. They just said, let's do an experiment. Let's see what happens after Obama becomes president. Don't give them no new tutor, no knowledge, nothing. Don't teach them nothing. Let them take the same test. After he became president, they took the test with no new knowledge, and 80% failed before, 80% passed with flying colors. Wow. What does it show? It showed that there was nothing wrong with their minds and their intelligence. It was something wrong with their confidence. But because they seen someone that looked like them, that accomplished a great feat in their immediate past, they in their mind activated their spiritual peripheral vision. If he can do that, I can master this. I said, man, if that could happen, we'll learn about one black man that became a president. How much more power would it be to learn about Shaka Zulu and Nefertiti, Queen Nzinga, Mansa Musa, Imhotep, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Garvey? How much power could you put? See that kind of confidence allows you to be able to operate in a different mind, but it comes with that knowledge of self. Knowledge of self. That knowledge of self. So we have to dive into it. That's why if you look at the way black and white children start school, I'm talking about the preschool age, we babies start school the same way. Very timid, very scared. But if you notice how the white and the black child, as they matriculate through 12 years of education inside of that system, they learn about Thomas Jefferson, a white man, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Thales, Pythagoras, white man, Einstein, white man. Yeah, right. So the black and white child, every time he learns about somebody that looked like him that accomplished great feat in the past, his shoulders began to get straighter. Right. His back is straight. Now he's and by the time he gets to 12, he walks out with confidence, ready to conquer the known world. But because we didn't learn nothing about people that look like us, that accomplished great feats in the past, we leave and our head's still down and our pants is down now too. Wow.
Well, I just wanted y'all to hear that today, so you can get an understanding about how programming is programming, how a frequency will keep a course of God-gifted, talented young men and women or babies when they're born. You're already born with those gifts. You're born with knowledge. You're born with wisdom. You're born with creativity. You're not born to kill. Killing is something that is taught. But you didn't come out your mother's womb with a gun in your hand. Let me say that again. No child came out the womb with a gun in their hand. So when we take an opportunity to overlook the fact that I will be putting this information up on the, I want to say thank the men of Valor. The Men of Valor, if you're on Facebook, check out the Men of Valor Facebook page for this information I just played for you. It's on the Men of Valor Facebook page. And I'll try to put the link because it's kind of complicated to get links on some pages to transfer them over. But if we can educate our future generation, because I started looking at this picture because when I first put this picture up right here, year ago or so, and what I would do is I put it up because I thought it was, hey, this is a good picture for our young people. That's what I thought. It would be a great picture for our young people. And what I was wrong about, as I begin, as I tell people, spiritual people, you get messages, but you may not get them right then because with all the frequency and negativity going on, you don't really look at this picture right here. It looks like Let me show you how they do it, because as an artist, we are taught how to do things to lead your eye around the round paintings and pictures. So what they did is with this, they you see the first person. If you're looking at it, that'll be the person on your left, the child on your left with his hands. You know, that's like we praying. The two on the left is like we praising God. But look at the hands of the people on the kids on the right. The kids on the right hands are up as if they're under arrest. This is how they manipulate our subconscious. This is how they manipulate our young people, even adults. If you don't know what you're looking at, you're like, oh, that's nice. That's the silhouette. The silhouette makes you feel like Black people. You know why? Because most Black people come from a religious family or religious background. Then as you look on the other two on there, going to from the left to the right, they look like they under arrest. They done did something wrong. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. So that's why you don't see me putting this picture up. And that's why I'm explaining why. Because in our minds, when our kids play these video games and too long, some of them can adjust. It's just a game. But some of them don't adjust. They become doing what's in the videos. All the violence today is from video games. They're running around, they're driving through the neighborhood shooting. Where did that come from? In a video game. They ride, they slapping women and punching them in the face. Where it come from? In the video games. Nobody's calling for a ban on them. Do you ever see anybody talking about banning violent videos? Well, let me ask you this then. Did you remember when Def Jams put out the first video game with all the rappers? Where they was shooting and fighting each other, knocking people in the subway, and they get out if you can get them out in time. Why did they make another video game? That's the only company or record label they ain't never made another video game. It's a lucrative market. We controlling our culture. But what happened? The video game then got to the point where it wasn't being, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Everything that we listen to is control. It's controlling the community. That's why we have to protect our future generation. Our future generation is at stake. And we sit around and pass the buck when people like us are not diligently taking care of the responsibilities of what's going on in our community with our future generation, our young people. We have to start taking more control. Another thing, you know, that my spirit showed me, and I might offend some people, and you know, especially women, because they have the tendency of calling Black children babies. We have to take care of our babies. These are not babies out here shooting and killing. These are not babies that's in school. They are children. When John Singleton made the movie Baby Boy, it was a message in it. Or did you understand? Women don't walk around and call their men kings. A few do. Don't get me wrong. or give him, a title to make him feel that he's a man. They're mostly called, that's my baby right there. That's my baby. Just like in the movie that John Singleton made, you know. All the men in there was always at the crib. In the crib, like that's what a baby sleeps in. On the street, I'm going to the crib. I'm going to the crib. Subliminatory messages that we get accustomed to saying. But if we say we kings, everybody's in an uproar. They get in an uproar when you say you're a king. Why is it that words that have positive content is frowned upon, but nobody frowns on, that's my baby. They killed my baby. And of course, a mother brings a baby into the world. But once he get up and start walking, he's not a baby anymore. I have the same thing when I talk about my son and my wife. I said, that's my baby. I miss him. She said, he ain't a baby no more. Why you keep calling him a baby? I say, he'll always be my baby, but he is a man today. He's a man. He's smart. He's intelligent. He does courageous things that I wouldn't do, even if he paid me. He gets paid to do it. He's in the military. But what we have to understand is the same thing with city council, where all the information, all the things that control our city. Have you talked to your children about voting? Because if they're 17 years old, they have a chance to be in history, to make history. From there until November the 1st, they will be 18 years old. If they're 17 now, and if their birthday comes now up until November the 1st, they will be eligible to vote. And they can do that now. Register to vote. They can register to vote, to be prepared, to be counted as a voter in November. And of course, this year we're voting for mayors, on city council. And in Virginia Beach, I think it's 3 to 4 people running for mayor. I don't know how many people running, but right off the top of my head, because I not try to concentrate on certain things, but to spark you to research it, look it up. In all the 7 cities, everybody is running for mayor. This is where your power belongs. This is where your the things that you worry about your youth, should be concentrated on. The city of Virginia Beach school board is going to do away with band because they can't afford to have the middle school people take band anymore. They say they don't have the funds. I don't know if they made the final decision, but that was one of the decisions when I went to a meeting maybe almost a month ago at the school board. That was my first time being there. I don't try to get into politics, but I was there for another reason, and to support the candidate for a vacant seat on school board. It came down to 1 or 2 people, but unfortunately The other candidate won. Congratulations. I know both. They highly respected in the community. And we have to get more people instead than we going against each other in a campaign. Is our future generation, our young people, important enough to get the vote out? Because this man right here died for it. This man lost his life along with several other civil rights leaders. I don't want to think that he gave his life for nothing. He was my hero when I was 12 years old. And that's probably why I do the things I do today. Because I used to see him on television. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But his family has lost a lot of people during his time and his reign while he was here. I don't know if y'all knew or not. Do you know he won the Nobel Peace Prize? And what comes with the Nobel Peace Prize with Dr. Martin Luther King is he gets a check for $1 million to do what he wants to do. $1 million. He was rich. But you know what happened? He gave it away. He gave away $1 million. That man right there who lost his life here. We have obligations. We have a debt we have to pay. And we can only pay that debt in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King, Megan Everest, and a host of others who lost their lives by voting, by registering to vote, get our young people to vote. That's a privilege that was paid for in blood. Malcolm X, just to name a few of the heroes that are no longer here. Harry Belafonte, who paved the way by supporting it financially and at rallies. The list goes on and on of people that sacrifice to get you this right here. The most precious thing you control is registering to vote. Study who you want to vote for. All this information can be found out on the internet. You got kids that are being out on the street coming in after 9 o'clock, they ain't doing nothing. Sit them down and talk to them. Educate them on the power they have. Ain't no power in no gun. We got more guns in our community than we got jobs and money. What part they don't understand? Most of all, what part you're playing in their lives. I can't tell you how to raise your children. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about the information, the knowledge that gives them the wisdom to make the right choices when they're not around you, or when you're working 2-3 jobs to put food on the table until they get with the wrong group, and then you spending thousands of dollars to try to keep them from going to jail. Educate them, or see who they're hanging around with. Educate them to let them know that, hey, this is no cakewalk. Life is not a cakewalk. A lot of things I didn't even learn when I was growing up. When I started, my mother Even the first job I got, my mother got it for me. She would go to different businesses and say, hey, do you need help? Do you need somebody? Are you hiring? And she went to one place in Portsmouth on Victory Boulevard called Tidewater Produce Warehouse. And the guy said, well, we're not hiring right now, but since this is the first time I ever had a mother to come up here and ask me for a job for a kid. But I tell you what, you bring him up here and I'll talk to him and I'll see what I can do. So my mama came home and said, hey, I talked to this guy. He told me to bring you up there tomorrow, and he might give you a job. Just remember, be polite. Be polite. Listen to what they ask you. Do what they tell you to do. Yes, ma'am. I got that job because I was in a special education class. And June of that year, my mother says, up to you if you want to go back to school. My birthday was in July. And she said, I said, do I have to go back to school? She said, unless you want to, that's up to you. If you got a job, then just go, do your work, save your money and keep moving. So I decided to take the job to help around the house because my dad was the only one that was working. My dad didn't like my mother to work, so she was a housewife. I'm no different from anybody else. I've been through, as they say, trials and tribulations. I made it because I had people that cared about me. I had friends that cared about me. I had neighbors that looked out for me when I was going to school. I used to stay on Effingham, and I was on Elm Avenue. And Elm Avenue was there longer because that was a house my mother had purchased. And it was next to the Hills, Keith, Ricky Hill. And when they were going to school, before I stopped school, and I got transferred to, being in a special education class, you can't stay but until when you get 12 in the elementary school, you got to go to middle school. So once I got 12 years old, I had to go to middle school, and that was S.H. Clark. Boy, back in the day, the stories you used to hear, they tore it down. And my mother definitely didn't want me to go to S.H. Clark. It was a rough school. And that was a real rough school. But what happened is that my friends, next door neighbors, they said, you can walk with us to school and we'll look out for you. And as we walking down the railroad tracks, just to get to S.H. Clark, and they would tell their friends, look out for little man. They would call me little man because I was like probably 70 pounds. I was small. And what happened is the guy said, yo, little man. It was some of his friends said, yo, what's your name? And I would tell him. And he said, don't worry about anything. My name is so-and-so. Anybody bother you? You just mention my name. That's all you got to do. They ain't going to touch you. They're not going to bother with you. Because when you used to go to S.H. Clark, if you came in the back way is the gate. And you come through that gate, they charge you whatever money you got in your pocket. You had to pay to get into S.H. Clark. You had to pay to get in there. Everybody walked down the railroad track to S.H. Clark had to pay. But they never bothered me. And I never got in a situation because I think my mother let me stay there for like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. But then I went to SH. From SH Clark, I went to transfer to Harry Hunt. And there I stayed again 2 years because I went there at 12. So when I became 14, I was I stayed there till I was 15 or 16. Because you stay there 2 to 3 years, you leave there, then you go to high school from 16 to 18, if I got it correct. But I know at 18, in the special education class, that was it. You couldn't stay there any longer. You get a certificate saying you passed the special education class. Wow, that was great. That was, I did my work. I was good at the lessons that I learned. The teachers that I had, they taught me a lot, because if I didn't, I may not have made it to where I am today. But that's to say that is not always bragging about me, but telling the story, because every child out there is me. I look at every child out there that can make it if they believe in themselves. It's not about me. It's the faith in believing, educating our young people in believing in themselves. Everybody I ever ran into or ever talked to, they said, man, you're going to be somebody someday. That's what they said. I keep telling people, and they think I'm bragging, and I'm not. I've been in the newspaper since I was 12, 13 or 14. My picture has been in the newspaper. No, I ain't committing no crime. The crime is committed to me. I'll be watching and studying things. The computer that you look at today, components, they had the future table there. You think all this stuff happened by mistake. Nothing is by mistake. Nothing. There used to be a newsletter we used to get when we was 12 years old in school. It was the weekly news or something. It would tell you about everything in the future. When we was eating hamburgers back in the day for 12 cents from Carl's, 15 cents from McDonald's, you didn't pay $1 for nothing back in the 60s. You didn't even pay $1 for gas. The gas was like 12 cents or 15 cents. Man, you could almost fill up your tank for that. I used to ride good for $1 or $2, put it in the tank. I'm good. Not that I'm riding all out or, all over town. But back then, when I was in elementary school, they would tell you the future, what a hamburger would be. They had already programmed you way back then when I was 13. No, I was working then. So I was 16 years old. And now I'm 71 years old. They knew back then what the prices of everything was going to be. Don't get it twisted. This world don't stop turning because you got an attitude. You said that ain't got nothing to do with me. Everything has something to do with you. You were born for a reason, not for a season. Our young people are depending on us to move them in the right direction. Not let them have their way. They rebel when you let them have their way because they feel like you don't care. You don't care. They get to school, and some teachers might feel the same way. I don't feel like being bothered with you today. I got a headache. Go sit down. Are you going to the PTA meetings? Are you checking up on your children in school at the PTA meeting? I know you're tired, but you can't be tired if it keeps your kids on the right track. Today, in the city of Virginia Beach, it was on the news last week. They're thinking about bringing the DARE program back at a cost of $1.7 or $1.8 million. The way they look at our kids, that they're the troublemakers. They're bringing back a program that didn't work, that was banned over 10 to 12 years ago, maybe longer. It is up to you to stand up and start visiting the city council. And if you can't make it, you can watch it on your cell phone. Anything that deals with the city, you can watch it from the comfort of your home, just like you're watching me. They wanted to get rid of a ban because they said they didn't have the money. But now you want to bring back the DARE program at I'll just round it off $1.8 million for something that didn't work. That's what the federal government said. That ain't me. Are we paying attention to the people that we elect to office, that want to be in office? When they get there, they're not returning phone calls. So why vote for them? That's a wasted vote. I heard one Afro-American person say it or stated to someone else. I didn't hear it personally, but they said, you ain't the only one voted for me. I've heard that from Black people on city council. You ain't the only one voted for me. No, I'm not. But I'm one of the people that's asking you to do your job, because you're doing the job of the people, the other people, because I'm not the only one voted for you. That's why our kids suffer in the communities. That's why they're shipped off to the pipeline to prison. Anywhere from 5 to 30 years. I know the state and some cities are trying to do better by offering them jobs. Why? Because they can't find no labor work. They can't find welders. I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago now, where they're giving people that want to learn to welding, and you'll start off with $50,000 to $60,000 after training. Man, that's a college degree, and you ain't got to pay for it. They're gonna train you. They're gonna train you. Are things getting better? Some things are getting better. But for our young people, it ain't. If we don't do our due diligence, follow up on news when you see it in the news, I'm too tired. It ain't my concern. I take care of my child. Yeah, but the streets take care of them too. The streets are definitely taking care of them. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do to protect our resources? Our kids are our resources. They're like like gold, silver, platinum. And we're just allowing our kids to be harvested for organs, their organs. Harvest for labor, free labor. Because when they go to prison for 10, 20 years, they get maybe 20 cents today. I don't know what it is. I know one time we wound up at 12 cents a day. But it ain't enough to be locked up in prison. Nobody want to see their child in prison. I know I didn't. I work as hard as I can. I don't care how many jobs to make sure that they get the things they needed and sometimes the things that they wanted, but most of all, to keep them safe in an environment that was always a smile on their face. Yeah, they may not like the way I brought them up. It's the only way I knew to protect them, to keep them out the streets. I was brought up when that sunlight in the sky, that natural light leaves the sky, you better be in the house. We would stay up to about 9 o'clock. We in bed. No TV, no radio, no nothing, no games. On the weekend, when Friday night came, we could stay up a little late. We used to watch Shark. Good evening, friends. Welcome. I mean, that's when you see the scary movies. And tonight, we're going to have a double feature. Yes. When the guy come out the coffin. Westerns were the things back then. Westerns was the thing. The Twilight Zone. The road overhead. There's a stop sign. You're in the Twilight Zone. Rod Stewart. There's nothing wrong with your TV set. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. We control the sound. You're in the outer limits. Frequencies. They tell you what they're doing to you, but y'all don't pay attention. It's just a movie. Just like the Matrix. Everybody's knowing about the Matrix now. You thought it was just a movie. No, nothing is just a movie. They tell you about it before they can indoctrinate you with you believing it. I'm not a rocket scientist, nor do I pretend to know everything, but I read a lot. I watch videos. I do some research. And that's what college teaches you. Do research. Don't let the Bible say, let no man tell you about me. Read it for yourself. That's what is in the Bible. The Bible said, let no man tell you about me. Everybody tell you about Jesus Christ. Wasn't this color, he wasn't that color. He wasn't no Jesus Christ. But I tell you this, if you think you're going to leave this heaven without calling on his name, all you got to do is listen when people are on their deathbed. You call the name of Jesus if you ain't never called it before. And you're praying that he hears your cry. See, once you're dead, once your spirit leaves the flesh, it goes to purgatory. You don't go straight to heaven. You don't go straight to hell. God put you in purgatory until he decide where you're going to go. But we sit around and got all the answers. We fly. We super fly. We the queens and of the sex symbol. We're a sex symbol. Of course, we have some beautiful, beautiful women. We have make you blow your mind. You know that. All you got to do is look at Facebook. But at some point, We have to be responsible for what we've been given. We've been given life so that we can have it more abundantly. That's what you pray for. To God to bless you to see another day. Because tomorrow ain't promised to you, nor the minute, second, or hour. The world didn't give you life, but the world will take it away. Look around you. Like I just want you, just next time you're off during the weekday, start at 4:30 in the morning. Wake up about 4 o'clock. News start at 4:30. And then again, with all the talk shows on Channel 10, Wavy TV 10. Yeah, I'm a Wavy TV 10 fan. I used to be a 13 fan until I had cable, but I couldn't afford cable, so I got the antennas, and we don't get 13. I used to be a Channel 3 when I was a kid, but now I'm Wavy TV 10 because I like Andy Fox. When the fox on the hunt, he's on the hunt. I can't take nothing away from the fox. He brings it. Good or bad, rich or poor, he brings it. The other person on the internet, Rhoda. That's right, Rhoda. Rhoda's on the grind. No question. I always like Rhoda. I was watching Rhoda before I even could pronounce her name. Yeah, love Rhoda. Y'all support Rhoda. She's our news reporter. She's the hood. She's the hood reporter. Internationally known, worldwide. And she gets the job done. Hey, Rhoda been looking good here lately. I don't know what hey, better watch it. Been talking to her husband. Better watch it because Rhoda looking real, hey, as they say, hey. Rhoda's a very energetic, commentary, educated comedian. She's an entertainer. That's what she is. And y'all respect the fact that she put her life on the line following some of these people that done did crime, helping those that can't find help. Y'all need to support her. Y'all need to support her. I did. Let me see. Do I have a new picture up there? I did have it. I'll try to find it while I'm talking so you'll know Rhoda ain't no joke. I keep trying to tell you, Rhoda is on the JOB. I love Rhoda. Y'all all make sure y'all watch out for Rhoda because without Rhoda, we wouldn't have the information that is going down today. Because Rhoda is out there hitting the pavement and making sure that we could get the information about what's going on in the 757 wherever she go. She's all about it. She's about the Black community. And there's a few others. We still have, Mellow V, who's constantly working in the community. And hopefully if I get an opportunity to bring her on, that we can have her to come on the show. Never forget that everybody has a position they have to be instilled in and be involved in a way that we are helping each other. See, the thing is, we don't like to help each other. What we do is, can you lend me? Can you loan me? Can you spare me? I don't know if that's, let's see. Yeah, that's it. This is Rhoda new picture. Have you seen Rhoda? Rhoda Young live. I'm telling you, the #1 journalist in the 757. And there's no question about it. Rhoda, I don't know, at some point, I think they had blocked you off my page. I couldn't find you, Rhoda. I'd be like, why, Rhoda? She done blocked me on the page. I had to go find Rhoda myself. But I found her, and I'm telling you, she's looking jazzy. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. She's jazzy. #1 journalist in the 757. You should be on the nationals. Well, you're on the internet. But you should have your own talk show on television. They should have gave you the Rhoda Young reporting live. You know, you get the news before Andy Fox, WTAR, and Wavy. WVEC 13. You killing them, Rhoda. You killing them. Hey, Rhoda, can you leave me alone? Can you spare me a couple of dollars? I want to go there. I want to go and get me something to eat at one of your favorite places, you know. Just kidding, Rhoda. Love you to death. This is what I'm talking about. Supporting one another. Supporting one another. But she never been on my show. Rhoda, how come you can't come on my show, Rhoda? I need the numbers. I need to blow up just like you. I want to be like popcorn. I want to blow up. But laying all jokes aside, our future generation is at stake in this election. This is my poster child. I do have permission from her mother that she could be my poster child. So don't get it twisted. And no, she's not sitting on my lap. She's standing up. So I don't want you to get it twisted there either. I always protect the future generation. I do what I do for the young people. You don't have to like me. I'm not talking just to be here to hold a conversation. I'm here to bring you information about the future. Our young people deserve our opportunity to live in a safe environment, not go to school like it's a prison now. That's what they are. They got to go through metal detectors. They got to be searched. All the stuff I've been working on since the 70s. All the things I've had people that's running for office say they would champion. For the last 20 years or so, or less. Now they're passing those laws. They're passing those laws. No parent should escape and their son takes a gun to school and you got him at the firing range showing him how to use it and said you're not responsible. I want to applaud the jury and the judge for rendering a verdict that both parents be put in jail. And sometime today we'll find out how many years they get. It don't matter if it's black or white. What matters is they should have been taking care of their child. You failed your child. You failed your child. In return, he took other children's lives. But it's not your fault. It's everybody's fault. It's the city, the state, Congress, and the Senate. People have a right to have a gun. Well, let them go in the military. Let them get paid. Our ancestors were slaves. After slavery, and even during slavery, they had guns. They didn't just run around and just kill people. 400 years of free labor, slavery, your wife or your daughter getting raped in front of you, or you getting raped as a man in front of your family. You didn't go out and take a gun and start killing up people. When it was a time for call of duty, when the Confederate War went on, if we didn't join, There would be a Confederate, we would still be under the Confederate flag. That's what you don't understand. The United States flag is not being represented. It's the Confederate flag that's still being represented because they never recognized it. That's why they killed Lincoln. William Booth was hired to go to the play that Lincoln and his wife was going to and shot him in the head. He said, why did they do that? You don't know the story? Well, let me explain what I think I know. Because after the Civil War, Lincoln had promised all the black people that joined and fought for the battle, the Confederate War, over close to 700,000 to 800,000 people died fighting that battle. It was fathers against sons, sons against fathers, and brothers against brothers, cousins against cousins. Nobody wanted the black man to be free. You got to keep working. You ain't supposed to have a book. But if it wasn't for our ancestors, we would still be in slavery. That's why the pipeline of prison represents slavery. 10, 20, 30, life. We're not educating our young people. Time don't stand still for nobody. As you know, this is my app for WVDM radio. If you go to your app store on your Android or your Apple phone, and because I know people, I just noticed it myself because I got to keep checking because somebody's always trying to keep me from bringing positive things to the internet. The letters were typed together. Now, if you go to download this app, you type W space V space D space M, WVDM. You have to space the letters apart. And then this app will come up. That's the circle. That's my logo for Bond Digital Media. And you can download it and be there 24 hours a day. I want to thank Miss Norfleet, who always listening and supporting the show. Also, to all those that be out there that wants to know what's going on with the music. At 4:35, I call the BT Express. That's to encourage music for young people. And the reason why I do that, because again, scriptures say whatever a man think it is what he become. Just trying to give our young people information and music that should fit them, encourage them, and motivate them. Music that they make, and some of the old school music because they know it, because their parents was listening to it before they were born. Remember to love yourself, put God first. Everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Until next time.